Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Meha Bhardwaj-Alter and this is Game On. This is where you get all the top stories from the world of sports. We've got to talk about the drama at the Australian Open as Novak Djokovic retired hurt. What exactly happened there? We'll talk about that, but let's just begin with what's going on with the Indian cricket team. And in domestic cricket, once again, the year now has gotten bad to worse for Indian captain Rohit Sharma, and we're still only in January. After the disappointment after the first innings disappointment in the Mumbai versus Jammu and Kashmir Group A match at the BKC in Mumbai, Rohit decided to change his approach in the second innings. It did work for him for a bit, but he lost his wicket to another dreadful shot just when things began to look good. He began his innings with a glorious 6 straight over the bowler's head, and his knock of 28 was mixed with hits and misses in the initial stages, but it all began with a tough drop chance by Nazir in the 4th over when he could not grab a return catch on his follow-through. Rohit immediately responded with a pull shot for a 6 over the square leg, a thick outside edge, and that flew between the fielder at gully and second slip. And on the final ball, Rohit flashed hard and wide to put the ball away for another 4 on the offside. The Rohit of old was on full display at the BKC ground, and few fans who were there in attendance were chanting his name, so everything was looking good for the Indian captain. But in desperate search for runs, the Indian captain blazed to 21 of just 11 balls. He slowed down in the next couple of overs. In fact, in the next 20 deliveries, he only scored 1 run. With Jammu and Kashmir bowlers Yudhvir Singh and Aqib Nabi, they were bowling a good spell. They were putting Rohit under pressure. Then, in an attempt to score, he hit another lofted shot. And this time, Rohit Sharma faltered. The ball was not full enough for Rohit to throw his hands at it. Abid Mushtaq, he took a sharp catch at the mid-wicket area. Rohit hung his head backwards before taking a slow walk back to the pavilion for 28 of 35 balls. The first disappointment for Mumbai, though, was Yashasvi Jaiswal, who was trapped in front by a delivery from round the stumps by Aqib Nabi. It was a simple setup, a couple of deliveries bent away before that one that came in to get Jaiswal, who went inside the crease and was caught plumb in front. Then let's talk about what happened with Rishabh Pant. Wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant also struggled against Saurashtra. Pant managed less than 20 runs in the 2 innings of the match. He was dismissed with just 1 run in the first innings and scored 17 runs of 26 balls in the second innings before returning to the pavilion. He hit 1 boundary in his innings, and Ravindra Jadeja, who really was the star across the 2 days since the domestic cricket has begun, who bowled exceptionally well yet again in this match, and he dismissed Rishabh Pant. And as we're talking about Ravindra Jadeja, despite some of the stars failing, Ravindra Jadeja, he showcased his brilliance with a fine effort of 7 for 38 from 12.2 overs in the 3rd innings of the Ranji Trophy match between Saurashtra and Delhi at Niranjan Shah Stadium ground in Rajkot. This was after the left-arm spinner claimed 5 for 66 from 17.4 overs in the first innings. His heroics helped Saurashtra bowl Delhi out for 188 and 94 runs respectively. He was instrumental in breaking a half-century stand between Yash Thul and Ayush Badoni in the first innings, dismissing both batters. In the 3rd innings, Delhi had no answers to Jadeja's brilliance. The Team India stalwart then ran through the Delhi lineup. He also got the scalp of Rishabh Pant. With 12 wickets in the match, Jadeja has now raced past 550 scalps in first-class cricket. He has 36 5-wicket hauls in first-class cricket. He has 323 wickets in tests for India at an average of 24.14. Okay, the Indian cricket team has reached Chennai ahead of its second T20I against England. The game will be played at the iconic M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai on 25th of January. This comes after India's stunning 7-wicket victory over England in the first T20I at Kolkata's Eden Gardens on Wednesday. The win has given Team India a 1-0 lead in the 5-match series, making the stage exciting for the next match. Team India is looking to continue its winning streak in the T20I format after a successful start to the series. The team's coach Gautam Gambhir, skipper Suryakumar Yadav and players like Ravi Bishnoi, Hardik Pandya, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Arshdeep Singh there, you can see him, Dhruv Jurel, Abhishek Sharma, they were all seen coming out from the airport for this second T20I. Real Madrid became the first soccer team to register 1 billion euros in revenue in a single season in 2023-2024, with the Spanish side topping the Deloitte Football Money League as the world's highest revenue-generating club once again. Take a look at this story.
No soccer team had ever made 1 billion euros in revenue in a single season until now. Real Madrid completed the landmark achievement during the 2023-24 season, according to Deloitte. The Spanish club topped the Deloitte Football Money League as the club also drove up matchday revenue following the completion of renovation work to their stadium. Deloitte said Real's matchday revenue doubled to around $257 million. Commercial revenue also jumped due to a new sleeve sponsorship and higher merchandise sales. The English champions made $871.5 million in revenue. City beat their own revenue record and remained the highest revenue-generating club in the lucrative English Premier League. But the gap between first and second in the Deloitte Football Money League has never been bigger. Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United and Bayern Munich rounded out the top 5. The need for European soccer was highlighted by Juventus' fall from 11th to 16th. The Italian club were excluded from European competition in 23-24 over breaches of UEFA's club licensing and financial fair play rules. While clubs like Arsenal, Newcastle United and Aston Villa grew revenues by playing in various European competitions.
All right, then let's take a look at the top 10 clubs. Real Madrid, of course, they topped the list. They scripted history as the Spanish Giants became the first football club in the world to hit the market value of 1 billion euros. This is further solidified their status as the most financially successful and the richest football club in the world. Take a look at that annual change of plus or the growth of 26%. That's huge for them. In number second position, it is Manchester City. They're the second richest football club in the world after Real Madrid, with a valuation of 838 million euros. Their annual change of just 1%. But they are going through a terrible period right now. However, that hasn't impacted their revenue. In the number third spot, it is Paris Saint-Germain. Undoubtedly, Paris Saint-Germain, they emerged as the richest French football club with a market valuation of 806 million euros. And their growth is 1% from last year. Manchester United in number 4 position. They've been struggling to win a major league title over the last 10 years, but their rich history and the global fan base that has ensured that they are among the richest football clubs in the world. The club has won a record 20 league titles and 3 Champions League crowns, and 3% is their growth. Moving on, it is Bayern Munich. That's in the number 5 position. They continued to remain the richest German football club. Bundesliga giants have a market valuation of 765 million euros, and they have won a record 33 Bundesliga titles and 6 Champions League titles. Then in the number 6 position, it is Barcelona. They are in number 6 position, a revenue of 760.3 million euros in 2024, and that is a step down for them from last year, where their annual change is minus 5% in the negative, so a deficit there for them. Number 7 is Arsenal, 7th richest football club, having a market valuation of 717 million euros. That's huge. 35%. Look at that growth for them. 35% growth for Arsenal, and why not? They've really been one of the best, the top clubs when it comes to Premier League standings in the last few years. Then there is Liverpool. They are currently in the race to clinch a record equaling 20th Premier League title. Their total revenue is 714.7 million euros and a growth of 5%. Number 9, Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur last won the Premier League title back in 1961. Since then, they failed to get hold of the coveted trophy. However, Hotspur are still one of the dominant forces in England, which is very much evident in their current market valuation. They have a valuation of 615 million euros. Then it is Chelsea at number 10. They round off this top 10 list. They've emerged as the 10th richest football club. They won 6 Premier League titles and 2 Champions League titles, an annual change of, a deficit really of 7%, but nevertheless still there in the top 10. And then let's talk about one of those richest clubs, Manchester United. Their captain Bruno Fernandes scored a last gasp winner to secure a 2-1 victory over Rangers in the Europa League group stage at Old Trafford. United dominated the early stages and thought they'd taken the lead when Matthijs de Ligt, he headed home from a corner, but the goal was disallowed due to a foul by Lenny Yoro on Rangers defender Davy Pröpper. Rangers also posed a threat, and a long-range attempt from Hamza Igamane was brilliantly saved by United goalkeeper Ate Bayandir. The deadlock was broken early in the second half when Rangers goalkeeper Jacques Butland, he misjudged Christian Eriksen's corner and sent the ball into his own net. Rangers fought back with an equalizer from substitute Cyril Dessers 2 minutes from time before Fernandes struck in at a time, lifting United to the 4th place in the table with 15 points and on course for an automatic qualification to the last 16. United's win was a much-needed boost for Amorim, who after Sunday's loss to Brighton said that his team was the worst, maybe, in the history of the storied club. While United's Premier League campaign still looks dire with the 20-time English champion 13th in the standings, the Europa League fate is in their own hands going into next week's game against FCSB in Romania. Okay, Manchester City have signed Egyptian forward Omar Marmoush from Bundesliga side Eintracht Frankfurt on a 4.5-year contract. The Premier League club has announced this. Neither clubs revealed the financial details, but British media reported that the deal to sign the 25-year-old Egyptian international was worth around 70 million euros plus bonuses. Marmoush, who becomes City's 3rd signing of this January transfer window after the arrival of centre-backs Abdulkadir Kusanov and Vitor Reis, has scored 37 goals and provided 20 assists in 67 matches since joining Frankfurt from fellow German side VfL Wolfsburg in 2023. In an interview after the signing, Marmoush said he's ready to adapt to any position that is required of him, adding that he cannot wait to play alongside the goal machine Erling Haaland. Marmoush has netted 15 times in the Bundesliga this season, making him the 2nd highest goal scorer behind Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane. And
City is one of the biggest clubs in the world over the past 10 years. Of course, it's an honor that they showed the interest in me and that now I'm here. The last 2 years, my last 2 seasons were great, but it's just the beginning for me. I'm so happy to be here, and for me, City is one of the biggest clubs in the world, so it was not a question. Of course, this was one of the big aspects also. Pep is a coach that develops players, like you said, and I always find that each player always can become better. Always there are some percents where you can become better, and I want to learn from him, take all his knowledge, because he's one of the best coaches in history, I would say. So it's an honor that he showed interest in me and got me in this team, and I can't wait to prove my qualities on the pitch.
And more transfers. Juventus have signed France forward Randal Kolo Muani from Paris Saint-Germain on loan until the end of the season. The Serie A club has announced this. The deal is for €1 million plus an additional amount of 2.6 million. The club has said that in the statement. Kolo Muani has been out of favour at PSG and struggled to get into Luis Enrique's side. He has made 2 league starts this season despite opening the campaign with 2 goals in the first 3 games, but is a regular in Didier Deschamps' French team. The 26-year-old joined PSG from Eintracht Frankfurt in September 2023 for a reported fee of 90 million euros and has scored 11 goals in 54 games. In 27 appearances for France, Kolo Muani has netted 8 goals. Juventus are the only unbeaten side in Serie A, but 13 draws in 21 games have left Thiago Motta's side 5th in the table and 13 points off leaders Napoli, whom they face on Saturday in Naples. Former Manchester City captain Kyle Walker arrived in Milan on Thursday after City accepted a loan bid from AC Milan. The 34-year-old right-back had asked to leave Manchester City. Pep Guardiola had already said that earlier in January. Walker joined City from Tottenham Hotspur in a deal worth around £50 million in 2017. He has made 319 appearances for City, helping the club win 17 trophies, including 6 Premier League titles and their first Champions League. Walker has seen his playing time reduced this season, making just 9 Premier League starts. On to Australian Open. Novak Djokovic. Now, this is a dramatic story. Novak Djokovic retired injured after losing the first set 7-6 against Alexander Zverev on Friday to put the German through to his first Australian Open final and extend his wait for a record 25th Grand Slam title. Now, Zverev will meet either Jannik Sinner or Ben Shelter in Sunday's decider, but Djokovic will remain locked with Margaret Court on 24 major trophies until at least the French Open. There were doubts about Djokovic's left thigh following his taxing quarterfinal win over Carlos Alcaraz when he took a lengthy medical timeout after the first set against the Spaniard. The 37-year-old Serb skipped a training session on the eve of the semi-final and entered Rod Laver Arena for the afternoon match with his thigh strapped. But there was little indication he was struggling until late in the set when he began trudging slowly between points and muttering in frustration at his player's box. He gave up the set by hammering a regulation forehand volley into the net and promptly walked to Zverev's side to shake hands and embrace the German, leaving the crowd gasping. With a rueful expression, Djokovic held 2 thumbs up and clapped at the terraces, but there was a round of boos as the 10-time champion made his exit. Now, this is, a fresh incident in the list of incidents that we've seen in Australian Open where players have been unhappy in the way they've been interviewed. Djokovic himself, he boycotted the on-court interview post his game because he said the interviewer was disrespectful to the fans as well as him. Now, Djokovic later said he had been trying to nurse a torn muscle and he was in increasing pain as the set wore on. He said, and I quote, "I knew even if I won the first set that it's going to be a huge uphill battle for me to stay physically fit enough to stay within or stay with him really in the rallies. For another good, God knows what, 2, 3, 4 hours. I don't think I had that, unfortunately, today in the tank." Zverev said he was also surprised by Djokovic's retirement, but noted the Serb's movement had fallen away in the tie-break. He said, and I quote, "I thought it was a high-level first set. Of course, there are some difficulties in the tie-break. He was not moving. I did see him struggle a bit more. But here comes the clincher." Zverev also admonished sections of the crowd for jeering, for booing Djokovic, who has dominated the year's opening Grand Slam since winning his first trophy at Melbourne Park in 2008. Now, he said, and I quote, "The very first thing I want to say is, please, guys, don't boo a player when he goes out with injury. I know everyone's paid for the tickets and everyone wants to see hopefully a great 5-set match. But Novak Djokovic is someone who's given this sport for the past 20 years absolutely everything of his life. He's won this tournament with an abdominal tear. He's won this tournament with a hamstring injury. So please show some respect." The truncated semi-final win is a huge boost for Zverev's hopes of finally winning a Grand Slam, having missed out to Alcaraz in last year's French Open final and surrendering a 2-set lead before losing to Dominic Thiem in the 2020 US Open decider. The 27-year-old has been tipped for Grand Slam success since his teen years, but was often thwarted by the likes of Djokovic and the now retired Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. All right, let's also take a preview. Let's also take a look at the preview of the women's singles final. Defending champion Aryna Sabalenka will battle American 19-seed Madison Keys in the final on Saturday, looking to become the first woman since Martina Hingis from 1997 to 99 to win the Australian Open title 3 times in a row. Sabalenka will be overwhelming favourite to defeat Keys and complete the three-peat after prevailing in 4 of their 5 previous meetings, with the Belarusian slowly and steadily finding a best form in the major that has defined her career. Although she's not shown the same kind of devastating form as the last 2 Melbourne Park campaigns, Sabalenka's mental toughness, her consistency and her sheer power have come to the fore at crucial times. Victory on Sunday would see her become the 6th woman to win 3 straight Australian Open titles, joining Margaret Court, Yvonne Goolagong, Steffi Graf, Monica Seles and Martina Hingis. The first world number 1 to reach the final at Melbourne Park since local favourite Ash Barty in 2022, Sabalenka can expect huge support as she goes for her 21st straight win on Rod Laver Arena. Despite an impressive start to 2025, few would have expected Keys to get this far, but the 29-year-old is a worthy finalist, having beaten world number 2 Iga Swiatek in the last 4. Swiatek was the 3rd top 10 seed to lose to Keys after the American defeated 6th seed Elena Rybakina in the last 16 and 10th seed Danielle Collins in the 3rd round. Playing at her 46th Grand Slam tournament, she will bid to become the 5th US player to win an Australian Open title after Lindsay Davenport, Jennifer Capriati, Serena Williams, who's won it, 7 times, and Sophia Kenin in 2020. Keys lost to compatriot Sloane Stephens in her only previous trip to a Grand Slam final at the 2017 US Open, and the Adelaide champion knows she will have to raise her game to a different level to stand a chance against Sabalenka on Saturday. The Belarusian was up against her best friend Paula Badosa in the semi-finals, but showed the Spaniard no mercy on the way to her 5th straight hard-fought major final. So there is so much to look forward to coming weekend, whether it's about the men's singles final, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Zverev finally? Or for that matter, between Keys and Aryna Sabalenka, who will come on top? So lots to look forward to. There's also football that you can watch over the weekend. We'll come back on Monday, as usual, on Game On, with all the top stories, the results, action from the weekend for all of you. So you've got to stay with us and you've got to follow Game On, because this is the coolest sports show here on News9. So stay with us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.